Hey, Michelle. Okay, just taking a look at your writing here, and your reactions I think are pretty common. I think that one of the things I think that it happens in this project is students are learning as they're creating. So it's it's very reasonable to assume that at this point in the project, students look back and say, okay, I would have done this differently, or based on what I experienced thus far, I would have done this differently towards the beginning of the project. And that's kind of what I'm getting. The reason I bring that up is that's kind of what I'm getting out of your writing. And it's perfectly normal. As a matter of fact, I expect it. So that's good. So let's go ahead and take a look at the work. I'm not concerned about losing the beach. I think that the communicative message is here, definitely. I mean, you've lost the masseur or the masseuse. Which one is it? Masseuse. So you've lost her and you've lost the background. But that's okay, though, because the communicative value is still there. Now, theoretically, you could place an image of maybe water or even a beach or an outdoor scene, some palm trees, something back there instead of just having the stark white. I'm okay with it the way it is, but if you feel it's stark, think about that. Even placing a solid blue field is going to kind of give this connection to water. And that might be an interesting approach in itself. So think about that. Now, as far as the ads go, let me see. Okay, magazine ad is right here. This is a JPEG, I believe. But it is. It's a JPEG, and that's why we see this. So what happened here is you've got something off the artboard. All right, this is off the artboard, and being off the artboard, when you go to save it as a JPEG, the software doesn't know what to do but to include this, even though it's off the artboard, and that's why you have this strange configuration for the way that you saved um, your JPEG. Typically, what I do is I'll come here and I'll just take my marquee selection tool. I'll select all the way around here just to make sure there's no stray points out there. If I save it as a JPEG and I see some weirdness out here, quite often it's just a stray point. If you marquee select that, you'll see it selected. Just delete it, resave it, and you should have only the magazine ad. Okay, as far as the magazine ad goes, we've talked about it. I think it works. I do. I think it works definitely. I'm typically I'm not crazy about filling in gradients or boxes or anything. It's kind of trying to fill in where the image takes off or the image stops. But in this case, I think it works out okay because you've got this really subtle gradient that doesn't impede the hierarchy at all of the page, and it fits harmoniously. I think the color choice was excellent, and it doesn't have the kind of visual weight that would impede hierarchy. So good job there. Now the web banner ad, let's get the web banner up and in the window, and I think the web banner is a really good adaptation of the magazine ad. I do have some comments though about the web banner. So you're saying experience serenity and tranquility. That headline is set beautifully, by the way. But then you've got this. Now, this is called saccadic eye movements. And as a designer, you want to eliminate the amount of jumping around on any composition. Watch my cursor. You don't want people's eyes to go from here to here to here to here to here to here. That's why we try to align things. We try to set things in proximity of related items so we can avoid things like this. Now watch what happens with the animation. So the viewer's eye starts here, blinks in, and moves over here, then jumps down here, then moves over here, and the whole time this is blinking in and blinking out. To me, that doesn't ring serenity and tranquility. To me, this rings, and I don't mean to sound discouraging, it means a little chaotic. Okay, it's blinking in, then moving over, then blinking in, then blinking out, then moving down here, blinking in. My recommendation is to take this whole book now and receive a free spa treatment with a 4-night stay. Just take that and set that up as a headline. It may entail coming out to about here and then going to a second line. But I would just set that as your headline and then take the whole thing, fade it in, and then fade it out gradually. The blinking is not as relaxing as I think it could be, as it's definitely not as relaxing as a fade in and a fade out. So fade it in, let it stay for a second, fade it out, then start that fade back in immediately so that there's no point in time where the subhead isn't in some sort of a transition of the animation. That will keep the viewer's eye in the banner and allow the viewer to know that that text is offering information. So it's precluding the viewer from looking away. I hope that makes sense. That's my only recommendation. Well, actually, I lied. I have another recommendation: is to definitely include the location, the geographic location, because that matters. It's such an exotic location. It's not like it's in Florida or something, and nothing against Florida at all. But there's a difference between looking at an ad for the U.S. Virgin Islands and looking for an ad for South Carolina or Florida. Did you see what I'm saying? It's more of a. I mean, you know, the Caribbean, many people believe is the most beautiful waters on earth. And I tend to agree. I think that the Caribbean is just intensely gorgeous. And so let's let the viewer know that this location is in that setting. Okay. So right down here, maybe it doesn't have to be big. It can just be minor. Just right down here, or maybe even up here. Located in beautiful U.S. Virgin Islands or something like that. Okay. And that's it. That's all I have. Really great job so far. Good work, great effort. And if you have any questions, please let me know. And also, if you want to work out some of these issues and resubmit, I'll be more than glad to provide additional comments. All right. Thank you very much.